Hey guys, Ryan Biddulph, blogging from Paris, taking a little bit of a fast for the past few days. I have been traveling, and the lighting hasn't really been optimal. I don't really felt like doing the live bit, but we are settling into our new location for about a week or so. Through some of actually through the bulk of the holidays. If you think about Christmas and New Year's, so I figure I'll do a live here for you guys, and it was just to delve into this concept of blogging getting harder and harder for you, which can feel really frustrating because you have a lot of bloggers, they dive into the game just thinking, okay, blogging is simply writing and publishing posts. So most that even get to that point of writing and publishing posts semi-regularly soon learn that it is much harder than it appears to be. And then even if you get into developing the multiple skills that are required to thrive as a blogger, it still gets harder. It is how it is. But when you begin to understand what that hard feeling or difficult feeling is, I don't want to say you will coast through blogging like a hot knife through butter. However, once you understand what that hard feeling is, that difficult feeling, that really uncomfortable feeling, like, oh, this is the toughest thing I've ever done. Once you begin to own that, wow, everything will change quite quickly in more cases than not. But you have to own that this is what the hard emotion feeling is. Okay, you guys ready? Blogging feels harder and harder to you only because of one factor: fear in your mind. Fear creates the hard feeling. Fear creates the difficult feeling. Fear creates the uncomfortable feeling. Fear creates the tortured feeling, the most difficult feeling, the most difficult thing I've ever done. And I know, guys, I've been there. I've blogged for a really long time, since 2007. So I know, even from the past week or so, just reaching up and leveling up, reaching a point of it feeling harder. Hold on 1 second, guys. I have to check because, okay. Watching a dog and a new sit, and I want to make sure we have her, she wanted to go OUT. And if so, I'd have to grab my wife, grab her, ask her if she could do it, since I'm doing a live video with you guys. Once you face the fears in your mind that are fueling the hardness, for lack of a better term, the difficulty, the discomfort, the agony, just all those difficult emotions, it feels bad to feel fear. Like, it doesn't feel good, but it's really temporary. Hey, Goldie. It's super temporary to have these intense emotions. And then as you clear these intense emotions based in fear, you instantly in your mind generate, allow in, see clearly these solutions, or at least steps to solutions to your blogging problems. It's amazing how we're engineered, guys. You appear to have all these problems, and me and everybody, and most folks just keep making the same problems, having the same problems, going through the same struggles, the same difficulties virtually forever, because they think outside in. This is hard, or this is difficult on me. Now, this is life in general. The select few who choose to face the fears in their mind and own the fact that all of their difficulties come from the fears in their mind, not only face, feel, and release these fears to feel better progressively, but then they see the solutions to their difficulties, to their obstacles. It's a miracle. I say miraculous. It is miraculous, but it's a miracle that we're built this way. We really are engineered this way. Study any of study enlightened beings. They're the ones who've mastered their minds. But when you have these entrepreneurs that are having fun and making hundreds of millions and billions and really enjoying the journey, you see it's their mindset. They keep telling you it's mindset, it's passion and fun and trust and mindset. They move into physical actions. They're working. It's not that they're not working, but the hard work gets easier and easier and easier when you master your mind and when you keep facing your fears. Every difficulty, every struggle, every block, it's getting harder and harder. I know I experienced it personally. I still experience it. I'm 14 years in. I'm a 14-year veteran, so I have a lot of experience. 14 years of a lot of blogging. And I'm sharing this with you. It will save you so many headaches, guys, so many heartaches. You don't have to experience what I've experienced. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to listen to me. But if you don't get this concept, you're going to have a lot of problems. The blog is going to be so hard. And it doesn't need to be. Because once you face the fears, the solutions arise. And I'll give you an example. Certain aspects of my campaign, as far as monetizing, I felt like I slammed into a real block. So things seemed to be getting harder and more difficult. But I faced, felt, and released some fears related to those money and blogging in general and success, deserving worthiness. But these are just fears, and it felt really uncomfortable. But from experience, I realized that hard feeling, the difficulties, the discomfort, I knew that it's some fear in my mind. It always is, because that's what creates it. Your mind is creating everything outside of you. It's that godlike, lowercase g. So I knew that. So after facing, feeling, and releasing these unpleasant fears, instantaneously a number of solutions entered my mind. And one, which I had resisted for a lot of ego-based fears and vanity, was adding advertising, third-party advertising to my blog. So even though it felt uncomfortable, I did it. Because intuitively, I knew it. This is uncomfortable, but clearing the fear and saying, oh, vanity, arrogance, having my brand aligned. I knew it. When you just know the solution because the fear's gone. You're not afraid of it anymore. So when I stepped into the solution and I embedded the third-party ads onto my blog, things really happened seamlessly. My readers were clicking on them. So guess what? You guys want them and you're gaining value. You're being redirected to third-party advertisers from my blog and gaining value and clicking. So you're getting help, gaining more help through my blog, not just through me, but through advertisers. And of course, it's cool for me because I prosper. And it's been really helpful feedback right off the bat. You guys are clicking a lot. And it's a beautiful thing to see, but this is a practical example of any type of hardness or difficulty or discomfort that we just run into as bloggers from time to time as we kind of level up. Well, you have to actually face the fear to level up. Because if you don't, it stays at that level of hardness or difficulty, and you just never get past it. Once you do, the answers get in like right away. It was like that instant answer. Good ads, embed those ads, Ryan. You started doing it a while ago, and you got afraid, and you have your arrogance and alignment. But it was ego. I was wrong. That's another thing too, guys. When you see this difficulty that you're slamming into, there's going to be an admitting. Now, this is on a worldly level. You could just say, okay, I opened up, or I was open-minded. But a lot of it comes down to the ego and just saying, you will be saying, I was wrong. I was wrong about ads. Well, I didn't like how they looked on other blogs. But that added difficulty to my blogging campaign. It's perfect place, perfect time, but there was difficulties and discomfort because I could have had this passive third-party prospering element, passive income, profits around the clock. I'm not doing anything. I'm not promoting. I'm doing the creating and connecting. People come to my blog, they just see the ad. And it's not about the profit so much, of course, is it about helping you guys as it's about helping you guys with third-party solutions. So you see the links, you click, and you go there and you get solutions. So it's win-win. We're all winning. Me, you, the advertisers grow their business. They got it. Watching Gandhi and Goldie now. Goldie and Gandhi. It's a cool name, cool for alliteration. But I had to admit I was wrong on ads. And for all those years, I would just say, oh, never do third-party ads. I don't like them. And they look ugly. And I want to keep my brand aligned. And I taught it and I preached it, but I was wrong. I may not be able to go back to all those blog posts and admit it through the text, but I did it with my blog post today. I was wrong. And blogging became less difficult, easier, more seamless. When I posted those embedded ads last week, it changed quickly. I'm like, man, look at that. That's just one example. I mean, I can go all the way down, but it's a practical example of making profits, especially passive income, easier. Me admitting I was wrong, difficulty, face the fear in my mind, all this ego, vanity, whatever, that just fueled my delusion, my pride. And when I got rid of the fear fueling the pride, then I saw, oh, blogging's getting easier. Passive income's getting easier. It's easy. All these impressions, people clicking, and it's helpful for you guys. So that's just one practical example, but forget it. I mean, there's so many applications. All depends on you stepping into facing your fears. You got to do it. Because if you don't face your fears, they're the only emotions or energies creating the difficulties. So if you don't face the fears, you don't dissolve the root of the difficulties. And if you don't dissolve the root of the difficulties, what do you think is going to happen, guys? They'll continue. And that's why blogging appears to get harder and harder for you and other bloggers, because you're not facing the fears in your mind that are creating the obstacles, because everything is inside out. It may appear to be Google, but it was your fear and attachment to Google and your blindness to all these other sites. That's why bloggers get shaken out whenever Google has another algorithm update. And there's a lot of complaining and agitation and frustration and panic, not because of Google making the change, but because of how bloggers in their minds approached Google, worked Google, let's say integrated Google into their blogging campaign from energies of fear, attachment, whatever. I mean, those are the big, fear and attachment are two of the biggest, just making it the traffic source, which is a huge mistake. The traffic source is really in your mind, but first it starts with your blog. Then when you're not so heavily attached to Google from this terror or fear, they're it, Google. Then when they make a change, you'll be nimble, because when you're not fear-based attached to Google, then you have 5, 10, 15 other traffic sources. So when Google does their algorithm change, you don't get shaken out and lose all this traffic and business, because from a deep fear attachment to attachment's always fear. To Google, you were live streaming on YouTube, live streaming on Twitter, podcasting on Anchor, and I mentioned all three because I'm simulcasting now through each. You were guest posting, guest blogging, writing and publishing genuine comments on blogs. So you have traffic coming in from all these directions. So if Google fluctuates a bit, you may lose some, but you won't lose that much because you're diversifying. You got to do it, guys. And that goes for every different strategy. But your blog is A1 as far as the worldly practical tips. And when you find blogging getting more and more difficult, you're not facing your fears regarding the obstacles. Oh, I can't get any blog post ideas. Well, you're not facing your fears concerning asking readers for feedback, your vanity, your pride. I mean, the perfect example was that, still got some muscles there. Perfect example was the practical application, the ads. You guys right away, you had been giving me the feedback in the past, because I remember on my birthday, like February 8th, as soon as I got to Panama, I posted or embedded an ad, and I was already getting clicks just in that one day. A decent number. Generating some revenue. More difficult in my mind. I didn't face fears concerning. I had a fear. Here we go again. This is like old school, guys. I remember the cats in my videos. We got Gandhi here. Relax. Now we got Goldie and Gandhi. Relax, Goldie. Ratings, right? Well, not on Anchor. You guys can't see, but we got Goldie down here and Gandhi up here. This is awesome. Relax, Goldie. I got you. And Gandhi, I got you too. But you gotta, I had to face my fears around pride and vanity and different ways to get payment when I was in Panama. There's so many fears, and it made income harder, not because of payment processors and ad companies, third party. Guys, come on, detente here. And all that stuff, but because Goldie. Oh, hey. Because of the fears in my mind. And when I felt, and released the fears in my mind, come here, Goldie, then it felt really unpleasant. But then the solutions came in, and I got my payment processor set up and the ads set up and embedded in any of the little tech glitches. And then it's like, oh man, it really is all in your mind, and it's getting easier. And it feels so good too. It feels good because first it feels good in your mind because you conquered fears. Then the solutions flow in, which feels even better and more peaceful and relaxing. And then as you see the solutions manifest, you're helping more people, number one, but then you see the worldly success, the increased traffic and income. And it's really cool how it all works out. But the increased hard blogging, it's such a struggle, most difficult. And it was for me, and it's like that for everybody. Bloggers are not facing the fears in their mind that are fueling the obstacles, the resistance. The ego works outside in because it's insane. It doesn't say to itself, well, look in your mind, because the ego feels that it's a victim, a captive of the world. And that's why you hear bloggers all the time, virtually all the time, talk about Google did this, Facebook did this. Can't do anything. Your mind projects Facebook. Your mind projects Google. You choose in your mind based on your mindset, your feelings, your thoughts, how to think about these websites, how to think about your blogs, how to think about money. They don't teach you this stuff in school, guys, because if they did, the whole world as we know would not so much collapse from a place of chaos, but it would dissolve into a bunch of really rich, happy people because everything's in your mind. How you act, how you interact, how you handle life is based on your mindset. Whether you work or not is based on your mindset. Whether you work at a job for a check and you're happy about, or whether you build a business and have patience and face your fears to build something special and freeing and liberating and empowering, that's based on your mindset. It's all on your mindset. It's never anything outside of you. You may even appear to turn to people for inspiration, but it's still your mental choice. You're choosing in your mind. Now, of course, you're going to see the illusion of a lot of bloggers around you to speak about blogs. It's getting harder, talk about harder and harder, more difficult, more uncomfortable. And there's no traffic and there's no ideas. And these people are appearing to be handcuffed by difficult circumstances. It just feels so hard. Blogging feels so hard because they're not facing their fears. Once they face their fears regarding these difficult appearances or circumstances, it feels really rough to face your fears, panic, anxiety, this breathlessness, maybe rage. Don't project it on other people, scream into a pillow, cry into a pillow. But when you clear that, it happens quickly. Solutions, or steps to the solutions, steps will enter your mind. It happens every time. It's how we're designed, and it's quite awesome. Guest blogging. I'm not guest blogging. I'm not guest blogging. Can't get any guest blogging ideas. There's all this difficulty. It's so hard to guest post. And then you feel this fear of rejection and criticism, and you realize that's one of the reasons why you're not guest blogging. And then after that, you start building relationships with bloggers and the invites come your way. Or you start practicing your writing every single day for a long time. And you realize that patience of practicing, that's the key. It's one of the keys to becoming a thriving, prospering guest blogger who has opportunities flow your way. You got to practice your writing. So these are steps towards the solutions, which will eventually have you guest blogging prolifically. And you'll be driving all this traffic from around the web to your blog, to your business. It'll just be awesome. Guys, we'll cut it about 20 minutes because it's 5:30 and I just got some stuff to do, having fun, maybe a little shopping in a bit. Getting ready. We have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at our respective families. Eve at Kelly's. We're all one family, right? And Christmas Day at mine. So, guys, as a call to action, stop by bloggingfromparadise.com. I have a few ebooks there. I have courses, ebooks. Ebooks, courses, Other solutions, of course, blog posts, guest posts, not guest posts, I'm talking about videos, podcasts. Check out to help you through these difficult blogging times. It's really rough when blogging feels so hard, but when you understand you face the fear in your mind fueling it, and it's always there. You just have to spend more time in quiet and see, okay, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of this, I have to face the fear. The solutions or the steps to the solutions pop up in your mind. And not only that, even if it feels uncomfortable, which is still some residual fear, you move into those actions. So it's like, I got to do this now. It's like this sense of urgency, like now it's time to start guest blogging or building relationships or practicing my writing daily. And as you take those steps, sometimes it'll appear to be quicker, but you'll just know in your heart, you're like, oh, I'm finally going to solve this guest blogging problem or this monetizing problem. I'm not making any money with my blog. And then you face the money fears, the fear of poverty, running out, and all that stuff feels bad. But then solutions will pop up. Oh, I need to add more income channels. I need to promote myself more freely. I need to promote other bloggers. That's another one too, more freely, to build relationships that inspire and influence these blogging buddies to promote you to their networks, and then the income increases. It's beautiful, guys, the way we're designed, engineered. So feel free to hit the share button if you know any fellow bloggers out there who would enjoy this. See you ladies over on Twitter. Oop. And you know the drill. On YouTube. Later, guys. I'll tweet this as well. And on the rebound.